Planning Commission meeting of February 10th, 2026 to order at 6:07. Can you call the roll, please?
Hold on one second, it's 6:35.
6:35. 6:35?
Yeah.
That clock's not right. Oh, that right, okay. 6:35, correction.
Cool. Commissioner Lyon,
Here.
Commissioner O'Shea Heidinger, Commissioner Ransford,
Here.
Commissioner Morris,
Here.
Co-Chair Tenza, my bad,
Here.
and Mayor All.
Here. Okay, if we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We should have the Olympic music on now, too. Okay, next is general public input. It's limited to 10 minutes, 3 minutes per speaker. Do we have anybody in the audience? And it's for anything other than what's on the agenda tonight. Anybody else here in the public want to talk about something not on the agenda? Going once, going twice, great, we'll move on. Planning commissioners, who's got the conflict of interest?
Me?
Okay. Do you have it on all three items?
No.
So you can participate on how many?
On C.
Okay, all right. We'll note that in the record.
Question.
Yes,
This is on the approval of the agenda. Before we do that, we request that, let's see, public hearing B, 2B, the McCoy annexation and initial rezoning. If we could have that one moved to the next planning commission meeting, so pull it for this meeting.
so we would only do the
We would only be
El Bar
doing-
J Ranch and the Bayfield Lakeside RV Park?
That is correct.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjust the agenda and postpone that one till the next meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Lyon,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Shea Heidinger, Commissioner Ransford,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Co-Chair Tenza.
Yes, and when is our next meeting?
That is on March 10th.
March 10th.
And Mayor All.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Well, I thought you would have abstained already, you know. Okay, so we'll look at the approval of the agenda first. So I guess we've just done that. We're okay with it as adjusted. Approval of the minutes. We have minutes of February 11th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve those? Now, let me take a look at that because there were some that I wasn't there. So you can't approve minutes if you weren't at the meeting because you don't know they're right.
That is correct.
Lucky you and I are out.
Yep. I wasn't at that meeting either.
I was there.
Okay, so make a motion.
I motion that we approve those minutes.
Which minutes?
The February 11th,
Okay,
2025.
okay. Do I have a second? Do we have anybody for a second?
I don't think we do.
Chris, how about you?
I don't know if she was there.
Was I at that meeting?
No, you weren't. So.
So we
you
can't approve
can't
that this
approve
time.
that, so we'll move to the next set.
The December 3rd minutes, they are done, but they didn't get done on time before the 24 hours. So those would be heard and approved at the next meeting as well.
Okay? That leaves us with, oh, poor babies. December 9th, 2025. And the commissioners that were present then were Commissioner Lyon, myself, Commissioner Nyberg, Chairman Gadd, and Commissioner Heidinger. So I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
Anybody have any changes to them? No, you approved them. You have to approve them.
I approve. I
Okay,
second
okay.
it.
Oh, okay, all
You gotta
right.
make the motion. Not approve.
He motioned it.
I can't.
Oh, I motion that we approve those minutes
All right,
from December 9th, 2025.
okay. I can second it because I was there, even though.
Yeah.
All right, call the roll on that one, please.
It's just you and me.
Commissioner Lyon,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Shea Heidinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Ransford.
Abstain.
Wasn't there.
Oh yeah, sorry. And then I guess co-chair Tenza.
Okay, yes.
All right.
All right. Hey, just get rid of stuff. It's a really easy meeting. Okay, so we're going to open public hearing. And the agenda for tonight, the first one is L Bar J Rance annexation and initial zoning for 93.85 acres located at 311A County Road 501. Is that right? Okay. Staff?
All right. You just introduced it. Derek Slocum, town planner. You just introduced pretty much the very first part of what I was going to do.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. The 93.85 acres is what is recorded with the county as of right now. So that's where that number comes from. The comprehensive plan land use designation is low density residential. The proposed zoning is agriculture A. Current uses, cattle ranching, agricultural production, event venue, and short-term lodging. Future proposed uses is pretty much the same. Agriculture, some agritourism operations. Some of the surrounding uses are agricultural, large lot residential to your north, RV park and vacant land to the south, Pine River to the west, and County Road, County Road 501 to your east. See that from the vicinity map. A little bit of background is they submitted the annexation and initial zoning application to the town of Bayfield. It was heard and approved by the Board of Trustees, the intent. That's why we're here now. The public notification, property owners within the 200 feet of the proposed development were notified. I've got the proof of the registered mail receipts. They are asking for the annexation and for the property to be zoned A, agriculture, over a comprehensive plan review. It does follow the comprehensive plan goals 2, 8, 10, and 12. I could read through those, but they are right there in your staff report. Land use code review, concurrent zoning and annexation, which this is definitely the way to go about. The intent is the purpose of this section is to provide a procedure to process the annexation and zoning requests so that they may be heard concurrently by the Board of Trustees. Read through that as well. Let's see, we got some staff comments on the Colorado Revised Statutes review. The subject property is adjacent to the Bayfield town limits, currently along CR 501 with 18% continuity. The property to the south, Outdoorsy, as you well know, was currently annexed. They're currently in the process of getting that all recorded and finalized. And once that is considered part of the town limits, then the continuity will increase to 46%. Let's see. Anything else? One thing in regards to this, this is actually the first annexation with the ag zone connected to it. The ag zone is rather new, as you all know. The agricultural zone, the first case to rezone to that was actually just last week with the Pine Valley Church and their plans there. So the ag zone is very unique, I have discovered, and it's unique to this town in regards to what they will allow and don't allow. And so part of the reason, due to the uniqueness of the zoning, that's one of the reasons why that we are not forcing immediate sanitary sewer extension or water extension. They're currently on their own well and water and current on-site sewer. They can get on into that if that is needed, but that is not going to be a requirement to this particular annexation. They cannot be subdivided due to the agricultural zoning, so you're not going to have any more multiple property owners that would have to connect to that as well. Let's see, we did get the signed application on everything notarized. There are no other municipal jurisdictions. It does not split the school district. If you look at page 5 5 of the staff report, the initial zoning review, I kind of went over already. It shows the flood zone, or the floodplain map, the floodway there in red on the western portion of that property. And the, what is it, the 100-year flood in blue. And yeah, so still a lot of buildable land on that. So referral agency comments, I got back comments from Colorado Geological Survey, which is in your packet. The majority of the others, I did not get any comments back. SGM did comment back after I got this sent out. And those comments actually should be at your table there. So any future reviews, so anyways, any additional development on this property will be subject to all provisions of the land use code, including site plan and use by review procedures. We're here in this public hearing as we speak right now. Staff does recommend that planning commission approve the attached, well, hold on a second. I don't think I have that attached resolution right now. But no, does recommend approval of the L-Bar-J Ranch annexation and initial zoning with the findings and conditions as stated in the resolution that I will have produced for you. Possible staff motions or possible motions are alternative action A, you can move the recommend approval, or alternative action B, denial, or C, which is tabling. The applicants are here, they can provide some more information to this application, and then after that, we can go for questions.
Okay. Your turn. Make sure you state your name for the record. You don't have to do addresses anymore according to the state. I know the town still does them, but according to the state, you only have to do your name.
Okay. Hi, my name is Cree Black. Good evening, Mayor and Planning Commissioners. Thank you for taking the time to hear us tonight. My husband Paul and I are lifelong residents of La Plata County, Paul having grown up right here in this community. Bayfield isn't just where we live, it's home. It's where our families are from, where our children are growing up, and where we've chosen to invest our lives and our livelihood. L-Bar-J Ranch, and what many know as La Platte's Pond, has been a part of this community since 1940. For more than 8 decades, this land has remained agricultural, working ground, open space, and a place where people gather. We feel incredibly honored to steward a land with that kind of history and meaning. Over the years, La Platte's Pond has become a place for more than just ranching. We proudly host nonprofit fundraisers, community events, agricultural education, weddings, celebrations of life, and gatherings that bring people together from Bayfield and beyond. From local fire and school fundraisers to community celebrations, the land has always been about connecting and giving back. Our goal with annexation is simple and heartfelt: to protect the agricultural integrity of this property, to remain aligned with Bayfield's long-term vision, and to continue being a positive, contributing part of this town that we love. We are not asking for any changes in use or services, just the opportunity to officially be a part of the town we already consider ourselves very much a part of. We care deeply about preserving Bayfield's rural character, its agricultural roots, and its strong sense of community. We believe annexation allows us to continue honoring that legacy responsibly, respectfully, and for generations to come. Thank you for your time and your service to this town and for considering our request. We are grateful to call Bayfield home and look forward to continuing to contribute in any way that we can. We have a very short slideshow that Paul would like to present.
Yeah. My name is Paul Black. Once again, thank you guys for being here and your time. So yeah, it's just, we kind of figured some visual stuff always helps. And so if you drive by the roundabout, that's the entrance to the ranch. So a lot of folks do see that. I guess the next slide. Just a little bit of history, you know, we call it La Platte's Pond, and that comes from the family that's been there since the 1940s. They were also Ludwigs and La Platte's. And if you grew up in Bayfield, you just knew La Platte's Pond. It was a swimming hole for years. It had been open, actually, pretty much the whole life the family had it. They let anybody in the community go down there and enjoy the pond down there, which was the gravel pit for 160 that produced the gravel for the roadway right there. So we try to carry on the LaPlatte's there, and that's Jewel LaPlatte, and Herb LaPlatte is their son, and of course us. So a little bit of the history. A lot of people ask us why LaPlatte's. That's not your name. We just like to carry on that history of a family that was a huge part of Bayfield. They started the bank, LaPlatte Electric. They were part of starting a lot of stuff. So we like to honor that family very much because they had a big part of history in this community. Next one. This is just a little kind of a map of our ranch. It just gives you a little bit perspective of stuff we do. You can see the entry. The road goes down to the pond. We do produce hops. We've got one of the oldest lived-in structures in the valley is the old cabin down there from the 1800s. And then, of course, you can see where our venue sits down by the pond, where we host most of our events. Just to give you a little bit of visual idea of what the ranch is. All the rest of it is just hay fields and grazing where the cattle hang out. Just a visual of the pond coming back looking from the Pine River Valley. Just part of the venue, a lot of the events, like we said, we do host a tremendous amount of kind of localized events. It's kind of been the history of that ranch, like I said, since the 60s. It was open to the public for a lot of years. It was very community felt piece. Times do change, and we started getting a little bit different impacts down to the venue, why we ended up having to close it to the public, but we did want to give back, and that's why we created the venue for a space for people to still have events and stuff, just a little bit more of a controlled environment. I imagine your Parks and Rec guys know how public can be on stuff, so yeah. And these are just some of the kind of the events and stuff that we do host down there. Like we said, we do try to give back a lot to our community and host a lot of different things. So, yeah, just a little bit of the piece, and I don't know if there's any more of the slideshow or not. Oh, there is.
Yeah, I wasn't letting people in on time, sorry about that.
Yeah, so just a little bit more of what we do. Like we said, something that we didn't realize with our Airbnbs, we have a lot of people come to experience kind of the ranch and the cows and the chickens. You know, right now, I feel like in current times, a lot of people don't understand or don't know where their food or their life, you know, a lot of stuff that they depend on comes from. And it's pretty interesting seeing little kids walk through there, petting cows, horses, and just experiencing the reality of where a lot of that stuff comes from. It's those cows, that genetics have been in this valley since the turn of the century, the last one. So that herd has been passed down to 3 different owners on the property, and we still carry that same traditional herd. So it's pretty unique to the area. So, of course, my wife is the egg dealer. Everywhere she goes, people ask if she has eggs. Yeah, and then of course that's our Airbnb where we provide. So it's a dual purpose. We use it for our venue for our guests during their events, but then it's also we utilize it for people to stay in this area and enjoy the ranch in the town of Bayfield. And it's just kind of more of the hay operations that you can see. You know, we grow a lot of hay, and we sell a lot of hay here locally to the local co-op and to other users. So, and that's just our family. So yeah, I guess I'll kind of hit on a few things that Derek had also said. With our property boundary, so our boundary goes to actually if you read that description, they reference County Road 501 as the Pine River Bayfield Road, I think. So that's how old it describes of our property, and then our west boundary is in the main channel of the river. And so that channel changes every year. So it moves, it changes. I usually try to tell my neighbor that it used to be over there. He tells me it's over here. So we went with that description of what the county has of the 93 acres on that aspect. As far as the services, most of the time, that's why you'd annex into a town, is to get the services provided. When we did our event venue back in, I think it was 2012, that was part of that permitting process. We had to reach out to the town of Bayfield because they were right next to us. They had services, and they had the opportunity, if they wanted to annex us at that point and to provide services. When we analyzed that, we found out it would be a net negative for the town, because the amount of distance of linear footage of pipelines that would have to go in there with the one or two services that come off of it, it just didn't economically pan out for the town. That's why they refused us at that point. So just to kind of answer that question, a lot of people say, well, you need to get onto that. Well, it turns out to be a net negative when we look at it. Now in future stuff, if we decide to develop the property or any of that, of course we'll be going through the process, and if it makes sense at that time, we would be looking at that. I think that's all I have. If you guys have any questions?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
No questions.
I have two questions.
Okay.
These aren't meant to be rude, okay? I'll do the easy one first. And that's, do you generate any tax revenue, that stuff that's taxable, that money comes back into the community, town, state, all that kind of stuff?
So as far as, there's kind of a two-piece to that. So our property assessment, we will be paying a little over 5 mils to the town of Bayfield for those aspects. So that revenue, which probably won't be very much, will come to you guys, because we don't pay that right now because we're not annexed.
Right.
And then as far as events, and a lot of agricultural stuff is tax exempt. So, like a lot of the hay and different things like that, but the venue is also a service. So
Tax-free?
Yeah, it's tax-free on that. But the Airbnb, there's lodger's tax that's associated with that. There is taxes that are taken out on that. If we branched out on the events that we hosted, to where like it's like a concert or something, I believe taxes would come from that. But at this point, it's about the 5 mils are about
Okay.
not as much.
And the other question, as I thought about this, was why? What do you gain at this point by annexing into the town of Bayfield? You're not picking, and most people annex so that they can get water and sewer, okay? You're not doing that. I ran out of reasons.
We're in a very unique situation.
Yes, so there is a lot of history behind that question, because when you float this idea around to people, it's a very odd concept. Why would you usually move to a municipality out of a county where it's probably higher restricted? Comparison to La Plata County and the town of Bayfield right now, we feel that the land use environment would be is probably understood better through the town of Bayfield. It's been very frustrating. Like I said, we've been through the land use process multiple times with the county. And we're Bayfield, they're like, we're on the developing aspect of the town of Bayfield. We always felt that we were in no man's land. So we really kind of had to deal with two entities, the town of Bayfield and the county. So we worked for a lot of time actually with the previous planner here to develop the ag zone, because the question kept coming around of, well, why are we losing ag? And that's really where this new thing kind of came from, is if they could foster an annexation like this, and this property could stay ag, and the goals that it wants to is ag, how can we help you exist that way? And the venue is part of that. We can't afford to live here, to be honest with you, solely on ag. A lot of ag operations have dual businesses. A lot of them might have mechanic shops they work on their own equipment, but work on their neighbors. And so that was a piece of this ag zone that was looked at, and it really kind of became a very intriguing concept when it was finally approved and looked at, and we just felt we probably had a better way, we could probably succeed and continue our generations on by moving into the town, and it's, the town of Bayfield's near and dear to me. I grew up here, went to school here, I come to a lot of meetings. You guys probably get tired of me, and I've never had a voting aspect of it, or been able to sit on a board like this to try to help out, so that's another part of it for me.
Okay, fair enough answer. But you didn't expect it, did you?
You never know. I watched Braveheart before.
Okay, no other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Anybody in the public want to talk about this one? Nobody wants, what? Why are you pointing over there?
Well, I wanted to ask,
Oh, go,
Sure.
yeah, go.
so they already have like the Airbnb and all that stuff. That doesn't change.
It would now be considered non-conforming because what it would, so in the ag zone, that would be considered a use by review. But since they're coming in and those are already existing uses in that, it would be considered non-conforming. So anything they do from here on out on that, then yes, they would have to go through the use
All
by
right,
review.
but that would be grandfathered in, all that stuff.
Correct.
Okay. I was
Just
just
can't
checking.
make many changes to that Airbnb. Otherwise, it falls out of the grandfathered clause. That is-
Yeah, I just was worried
Okay,
about that.
nobody in the
like if you
public, I
had to
went
start
public, I
from
went
scratch.
staff, I went applicant. I guess now,
Really have,
oh. Kristen,
Excuse me?
you're on. You wanna say something?
Yes, I do. I'm right in the middle of a cheer practice, though, for my daughter. Sorry, I'll excuse myself from. Here. Feel, I wanted to make a comment that none of my emails are in the packet. None of them were released public, and I just find that completely inappropriate. They are appreciated. Question.
I will confirm to you that the commissioners did receive your emails.
Absolutely answered tonight, and that is wonderful. And
Here.
5, 4, 3.
What are we doing?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Going well?
Oh, I have her email right here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes?
So I'm not sure how much you heard, but I wanted to make sure that my emails are released in the public record. I have sent multiple emails with comments that are being hidden from the public, and that's inappropriate. It's important that the details and the questions that I have asked are in the public record for everybody to view. I do appreciate that a lot of my questions that I asked are being answered tonight, slyly, unfortunately. But lastly, I wanted to be clear for the public record that I'm not against this annexation. I'm very pleased to see agricultural properties in Bayfield receiving the recognition and choosing to be a part of our community. And I believe that LNG Ranch is owned by a family that deeply cares about Bayfield and has done wonderful things with their property. But my concerns are focused on the town's role in processing all projects fairly and in compliance with code, with consistency, public safety, health and welfare, and equal treatment of the members of the public. It's really inappropriate to be hiding all of my emails and not releasing them to the public. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. All right. Is there a way we can add those to the public record as something from the public, like we would normally do?
I would put them in the packet if I got them before I had the packet
Okay,
sent out. But you have, I mean,
Right.
I have them available. If anybody wants to see them, I have them.
okay,
But you have copies of all of them at your desk.
got it.
And because you gave them to us, they are in the public record.
That is correct.
Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else? Here, there, anywhere?
Telling you, if you don't release the emails, if you don't release them to the public, nobody knows that they exist. Nobody knows that anybody's questioning anything. So just by saying that he has emailed
So what you're saying is, you wanted to send the emails to Derek and have him include those as part of our packet that the public has access to.
Absolutely, that's how it's always been done in the town of Bayfield, and I'm being treated unfairly.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else? I'll take that as a no. Okay. Well, bring it back up to the commission. What's the commission's pleasure?
Is that everybody spoke?
Yep. Oh, I moved that. It's not here anymore.
Yeah, put it back up.
Oh, my God. Oh, this is the different one. I gotta go back. Bear with us. You're looking for the recommendations?
Yes.
If my finger would work and if the computer would work, I'd have it. Computer froze, sorry. Can't approve this today.
Do you have it up?
I know, I can't get it to come up.
Are you calling for a motion?
Here.
I got it, unless you want to do it.
Oh, go ahead.
I move to recommend approval of the Ellen Bar J Ranch annexation and initial zoning request to the board. Do I need to read all that?
Well, you gotta at least refer to findings and conditions.
And all these?
Yeah, well, just, you don't have to read them specifically, but just say, with the following findings and conditions.
With the
That's-
following
there you go.
findings and conditions.
Okay, I think we got the gist.
I'll second it.
Okay.
There we go.
Any other comments from the commission? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Lyon,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Shea Heidinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Ransford,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Co-Chair Tenza,
Yes.
and Mayor Ah.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can I move for a
10-minute break?
recess? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to, I have a commissioner that's requested we take a short break. We're gonna take a
3 minutes.
5-minute break. And we know why.
Recording stopped.
Yeah.
You never know what happens now.
He's fine for the next one now.
Oh, for B?
True story.
Oh, okay. So he's good for C. Oh, okay. My bad. I wrote right there.
We'll have that all ironed out before.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Okay.
So this is off the record, I have my mic off too,
I
so.
just paused it on.
Is anybody here for the McCoy project? Because that got pushed back, just in case somebody came in late. So that's been, it,
We talked to Dan earlier today, and we just had more questions on it that needed to be talked about before we came forward.
right, but that project has been pushed to our March 10th meeting now.
Yes, sir.
So we won't be hearing it tonight. Okay, just want to make sure.
The batteries died, Leo? You got batteries in that drawer there? Yeah.
Timer.
Bring the power cord.
There we go.
I did, but for some reason, it just froze.
There we go.
I think I asked too hard of a question.
We get embarrassed seeing I have to.
How many
we
batteries
all
are
go,
we here? What kind?
what the heck is that?
They're your buddies.
Oh, wait, no, there's one more. They're all over the place.
Let's see.
Well, I brought the wrong backpack, I could've hooked you guys up. Yeah. Brought the right backpack.
I get on my kids
Got
about
no mouse
this. It's empty, throw it away.
Right?
I can't get mine to open up. I know, I can't get mine to open up neither.
This next one's big, and I have no idea what it's about.
Hello?
But this is just the preliminary, right?
I don't know, I don't think so.
Is this one you can vote on? No, I asked Eric.
Questions.
Working, I can hear it.
I was looking at it today. How fast is it? Have you played there?
Yeah.
Does it move quickly?
I think Zoom was still picking up what he was saying though, so we're good.
It's hard to say.
Saw the
Yeah,
transcription.
because,
It's so long in between holes, you have to ride.
Right.
You can't, you're not walking that.
well, that's right. You know, if you're driving, golf is faster.
Yeah. But it's so far in between holes that you can't possibly walk.
You guys might be able to play.
Mike,
Because like the sun went down today, like, yeah, you can
Life.
play right until 6.
yeah.
That gives you 5 hours, and if you finish.
Can't even go there. Get a cold.
Yeah, we might get there. If it's not snowing.
Well, that's you guys. You should have played today.
Yeah,
Missed this, but today was beautiful.
yeah.
Today and yesterday.
Well, then Saturday's supposed to be really warm again.
Right, right. I didn't even know. I thought they were part of it, too. I thought they were part of it. What do I know? I would drive in,
Now they gotta go through the town yet. They're bored yet.
still. Well, not me, I won't be able to vote on it, right? If I vote on this, I can't
I don't know. Are you coming in, do they have you on for the next meeting, next week?
Yeah, the 17th, but like towards the end.
Should do it in the beginning.
Well, he said I wouldn't be able to vote on things.
Why?
Because can I vote here and vote there?
Yeah, I do.
I do. Well, you're a cut above. You know the stuff he's got, I have none of this. Where is this?
It's across the street from the post office.
And that's what they want to build?
There's the post office. There's that little house in the corner down in the valley.
That's the way that first
Here's the gas station.
Yes.
Here's your roundabout.
It's divide and conquer some of the
Paul, will you go before the board next week?
Okay. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, no, I got like 4 things going on in my head.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Someone's like,
Still, I don't know why you're gonna find out
Honestly,
from there.
I made a mistake.
I'm
So I
old
know
enough to know, but. Yeah.
Just because I didn't say it. I was so upset.
I'm gonna do a little rope with a bunch of
Yeah.
oh, cloud or just
That was the first step, right?
It's a, yeah, it was in the 20s, 30s.
Like, if we have findings we're willing to deal with, we can put it off.
First step.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's that one drive.
Unless we approve the whole thing now.
Well, we can't approve everything. We can approve them to go and say, okay, we're gonna do it, and then they have to bring the plan, the actual, physical plans and stuff.
We are? Is that what we're doing?
Boss.
What?
Light this candle.
This is a use by review, I think.
Yeah, it's used by review.
Right.
So if we approve it, they can start building that.
Well, they gotta come back.
Now they have to come back
They're gonna come back again?
Yeah.
with the actual physical plans, right? That has to be okay through the city.
So,
Are you ready to go?
I am, is my 5 minutes up?
Yes. I think so. Like 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago, my 5 minutes are up?
I think so.
Am I good? Call the meeting back to order. That was 15 minutes and 5 minutes. The next item on the agenda is the Bayfield Lakeside RV Park subdivision and use by right review. Use by review for 21.6 acres. I'm doing your job now.
Oh, good. And that's for me to do.
Generally located west of the intersection of Buck Highway, County Road 521, and Bayfield Parkway. Now it's your turn.
As stated, this is Bayfield Lakeside RV Park subdivision use by review. I should have put preliminary plan on there instead of subdivision, but that's what it is. Preliminary plan and use by review. The location has it. There we go. Okay. Property location has 1361, 1375, and 1429 Bayfield Parkway. Comprehensive land use designation is general commercial land use. The current zoning is transitional. Currently, the uses on the property is a single-family house, RV parking, and primarily vacant. Excuse me. Future proposed uses are commercial and residential. Its surrounding uses, Highway 160 to the north, Bayfield Parkway to the south and east, residential and vacant land to the south, and sparse residential, vacant wooded land to the west. So some background, the Bayfield Lakeside RV Resort is a proposed development on approximately 22 acres of land located off Bayfield Parkway. The owner and developer of the property is Ironton Holding LLC. The project began in 2022 when the owner began discussion with the town of Bayfield to begin a process of annexation, rezoning, and development. In 2023, the town of Bayfield completed the annexation of the site and then also rezoned the site to a transition zone that allows for a broader mix of uses. The applicant is proposing a preliminary plan for the site with a use by review request for the RV park, duplex residential, and commercial retail uses which are needed a use by review in this particular zoning. The original initiation of the annexation and zoning was approved by the Board of Trustees of June of 2022. It was then apparently discovered that the Ironton did not own all the properties that were included in the original application, but once that issue was resolved, the initiation started again and the Board of Trustees approved it in July of 2022. The annexation and initial zoning was approved by the Planning Commission on August of 2022 and the Board of Trustees September of 2022. So, for public notification, again, we received a photocopy of the certified mill receipts of property owners that were sent the letters within 200 feet. There's a little bit of, and I apologize first and foremost for the packet. On Thursday when I was trying to get it all put together, Adobe decided to kind of fizz out on me. And so I was able to get most of it, but not all of it. That's why you guys received bits and pieces of it over the weekend while I was out in Kansas. So you got all the information that was put it on the attachments just in, emails. So preliminary plan review, so per the land use code, preliminary plans shall be reviewed using the land use code section 3.5. As mentioned, the preliminary plan proposal is for an RV park, a couple of Bayfield Parkway frontage lots with commercial retail, existing residential, and a proposed duplex residential. Per the land use code, at the preliminary plan stage, the following technical reports are required, and the explanations on them are on in your staff report. But over the traffic impact report, road plans and profiles, preliminary drainage report, erosion control plan and grading plan, geotechnical report, utility infrastructure analysis report, utility plans prepared in accordance with the regulations of the appropriate service provider, preliminary landscape plan for the subdivision, street lighting plan, and appropriate environmental appearances. Along with this application, as mentioned, this is a use by review, and so it's going through that process as well. The use by review is for the RV park campground, duplex residential, and the commercial retail uses, which are considered use by review in the transitional land use zone. Page 6 of the staff report, planning commission may approve a use subject to reasonable conditions which include but are not limited to the requirements that the proposed use. If you want me to, I can read those out, but they are in your staff report. Comprehensive plan review, the request helps accomplish the following comprehensive plan goals. Goal 2, the gist is encourage infill development. Goal 4, diversify housing types. Goal 8, attract and retain economic opportunities for Bayfield residences. Goal 10, encourage tourism that focuses on Bayfield's natural, recreational, and cultural historical resources. And Goal 20, requiring new development to provide parks and recreation facilities for the residents. Referral agency comments, so those were sent out when this was originally applied for, and those comments still stand. You also have a response that I think I got that email to you this weekend, but the responses to those comments, that's also something that you can ask the applicant that are here as well. Future review, if the preliminary plan is approved, the next step is for the project to go to the final plan process. The final plan process provides for review of any final engineering plans, the subdivision improvement agreement, and any other legal agreements. So we are here in the public hearing right now to speak. There appears to be a quorum, thankfully. So, staff recommendations. So based upon the information that's available at the time the staff report was completed, staff recommends that the preliminary plan and use by review for the RV park, campground, duplex residential, and commercial retail uses in the transitional land use zone for Bayfield Lakeside RV Park be approved, subject to the following conditions that can be found on page 8 of your staff report. And that recommendation is based on the findings, which starts on page 8 and goes down to page 9. I have prepared some possible recommendations. So you got alternative alternative action A, B, and C, approve, deny, and table. And you can read those out when you make your motions. So applicants here, they can provide some more information, and then I guess we can go to questions.
I have a quick question for you. It says here, if the preliminary plan, which is what we're talking about today, is approved, the next step is for the project, for this project, is final plan / plat process.
I don't know why it has a slash. I will get rid of that slash.
And then it says the final plan / plat process
Yep.
provides for the review of the final engineering plans, the subdivision improvement agreement, the SIA,
Yep.
and any other legal agreements. If the final plans are consistent with the conditions of the preliminary plan approval, town staff can approve for final plat. So if when we sort of, let's just assume that we would approve this preliminary plan,
That's correct.
we would have to attach certain conditions that may or may not be in the recommended motions. Otherwise, they are not subject to approval by the town. It just goes through.
Yeah, you can add those conditions, yeah. And I mean, it would also be heard by the Board of Trustees.
Right, so that's where the town, it would be the Board of Trustees.
That's correct.
Doesn't come back to us.
That's correct.
Okay, so this is your one shot. Okay, got it. Questions for staff?
Derek, could we present?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Sorry.
Anybody, questions for staff back over there?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, so if the applicant wants to come forward,
Thank you.
is that you?
Yes.
Name for the record, please.
Lauren Davis
Okay.
with Reynolds Ass and Associates. All right, thank you. You can start the presentation.
That little, see that little thing down there? There you go.
Oh, maybe not. Yes, good evening. Thank you for having us tonight and for considering our project. I have a brief presentation, and I just wanted to highlight and underscore a few things that are important to us in this project. Next slide, please. So obviously, this is a very unique site. There's really 5 edges to it. It's right up against the highway. It's right up against residential, catty corner to downtown, and right up against the river. And all of those edges have very different characteristics. And I think over the last few years, our team with Kirby and our design consultants have really studied this site and tried to find a solution that's appropriate and is considerate of all of our neighbors, the town code, et cetera, and all the requirements that come with this size of a project. Next slide, please. So this project has 3 or 4 different zones. Right now, obviously, there's an existing RV area that's right up against the street. It's kind of unsightly. It's not ideal. One of the most compelling parts of this site is that pond. Obviously, historically, this was used for agricultural, grazing, et cetera. There's some really nice sort of open features about this. We wanted to preserve that, and we really are using the pond as sort of a central feature in this development. And we've adjusted all of our uses, and we've pushed that RV area to the back. It's right up against the highway. And what we're proposing is some additional residential and commercial uses that are closer to the other residential uses and commercial uses in downtown Bayfield. And that central amenity space really becomes a nice divider here for not only just the uses, but the noise, everything, all the activities that come with this development. And then along the river's edge, we've tucked some additional camping and lighter uses along that western face. Next slide, please. And here, this is a quick figure ground, but I feel like these are always nice graphics. What we're proposing is still very open, and you can see the dark rectangles and boxes are the existing buildings of downtown Bayfield. And you can see we're proposing a similar pattern and rhythm right along that southeastern southern edge. And that really starts to tie this into the rest of the fabric of downtown Bayfield. Next slide, please. And here I put together a few slides. I just wanted to highlight those zones that I was talking about. So right here on the eastern edge, this is along Bayfield Parkway. This is where we're tucking more of the commercial retail uses, right? So we want to generate economic activity. We want to establish that rhythm and pattern. That's really nice. That's what's great about downtown Bayfield is the scale, right? And you have things that are walkable and connected. So this area on the east helps tie that together. Next slide. This is the southern edge. So this is where we're proposing our townhomes and the residential uses. So it buffers up against other like uses with the residential to the south. And this creates a buffer between the RV area to the north. Next slide. And then the northern edge, right up against the highway, is the area that we've zoned for the RV park. And again, this is a seasonal use. We've put all the measures in place to address traffic flow, emergency access, all the utility needs for this use appropriately. And this creates some other opportunities for the town of Bayfield as well. If you have short-term guests who want a place to stay, whether it be camping or RV parks, or the RV parking, or the small cabins. It provides options for people in town as well. Next slide. And then this is that central feature that I was talking about. This is that center amenity area. So this has a walking trail, a pond. We're preserving that key feature of the space. Obviously, we're not irrigating the space anymore, but there is a natural wetland there. But this will be preserved in longevity. It becomes a nice separator for this space, but it preserves kind of the quality of this site that everyone loves. The birds, the wildlife, the mitigation of sound and views, and the buffering between the different uses. And this is roughly a third of the site. So that's a substantial part of that 22 acres. Next slide, please. And we've studied the land use code and just the context. And so all of our proposed buildings, everything is an appropriate scale. Nothing is taller than, I think, 24, 26 feet. We're using a palette of colors and materials to make this really attractive, really welcoming, fit in with downtown Bayfield. Next slide, please. Obviously, with our team, we have to go through many hoops with town engineering and all the land use requirements. So grading and drainage, we've addressed. We were actually improving this. And our engineer is here, so if we have additional questions later, we can get into the weeds on that. Next slide. Parking and traffic. Again, we can address specific questions, but we have done our due diligence. We're meeting all the land use requirements for parking. We've thoughtfully incorporated queuing areas, addressed circulation, so we have smooth flows in and around the site. We're not negatively impacting the adjacent neighbors, et cetera. Next slide, please. And then here's just a few vignettes to give you a sense of the scale and a sense of the what we're proposing. So you can flip through these fairly quickly. This is that view of the walking trail with the adjacent pond, some of the residential in the background. This is the western edge. So again, a little more quieter, intimate spaces for camping and just walking, dog walking, etc. This is the center community building for the RV users, adjacent to the pond. These are some of the other amenities for the RV campers. This is a snapshot, so this would be from downtown Bayfield, kind of a bird's eye view with the pond to the left, Bayfield Parkway moving up and to the right. There is an existing residence, that white house that you see, that will remain. And then you can see the additional commercial and retail buildings kind of to the upper right. Very, single scale buildings, single story buildings, very similar scale, nothing imposing or dramatic. And here's a view from the intersection. This is our south general store community building. And you can see the white picket fence, the residence to the east, looking back up towards Bayfield Parkway. And then if you want to play this is a fly through. Click on it? Yeah. There we go. So hopefully we don't make anyone dizzy. But we just wanted to bring it to life and give you a sense again of the scale of what we're proposing. I wanted to reiterate, we are not maxing out density in any way on our project. We've actually backed off what we could propose in terms of densities of units. Again, we're providing adequate circulation for emergency vehicles, everything that would be required for building code, fire code, et cetera. But I think really creating these edges helps tie this into the town, helps extend your downtown sort of vibrancy and activating that corridor, which I think is what you want, for having additional guests and visitors and retail. This is a view just walking through the RV area, the tent area. And again, still opening up to the west, connecting back to the river. And I think it's wrapping up here. But I think in our overall process over the last couple years, you know, we've tried to be strategic in our approach to the zoning, tried to be thoughtful in terms of how we have scaled this, where we're putting certain uses. Worked with the planning department and the engineering to address all their comments. And I believe that as of last week, we did have an extensive list of engineering comments, et cetera. We have addressed all those, and I think everything with wetlands, with CDOT, those are almost to the finish line, but we've done our due diligence and complied with everything that they've requested. So, thank you, and happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Okay. Tom, you want to start?
So you got a traffic report and it says that you're not gonna need any turn lanes on the parkway?
Yeah, hi.
It
I'm
seems
Alan.
like an awful lot of traffic for a road that's pretty congested already.
So I guess, Alan Miller, I'm with PST Engineering. I guess the basic principle is we're basically separating that out into 3 access points. We don't produce a lot of traffic with an RV use. As a lot of times it's an RV that comes in, stays for a week. They'll have internal trips and come out. The residential is probably the only spot that's really timed more, that's the right clip there, that's timed more with the rush hour type traffic. And then all of this residential will be coming out of access C. So we don't have, there's 2 things we're looking at on the intersections, and one is level of service. So we have A's on Bayfield Parkway, and then also the turn lane warrants. And we haven't met any, we're actually well below on turn lane warrants. And we're also, on Bayfield Parkway, we don't use that A even in the 20-year outlook. So it does, in the report, that is what it's saying, that we're not having adverse traffic with, and it goes back to the land uses that we're proposing generally, that they just don't produce a lot of that rush hour, peak hour traffic.
How many townhomes?
24
24.
duplexes. What about extra parking for the 24 duplexes?
There's parking in the garages, and then we've also have separate parking in different areas. This is parking, there's more parking down.
How many spaces do you have down there? Do you know?
That is probably that.
59 total down there, I think. Alan?
What is that?
147 total, it's 59 in that lower section.
You say 59?
In the lower
Okay.
section.
Done in the condo range?
Yeah.
Well,
I can't read that.
you're counting the garages, right? Is what you're saying with that number?
No, we're not counting the garages on that.
So it's just open spaces?
That would be on-street parking, correct?
On street
And the
where?
additional- and the additional
On-site.
queuing of the drives. So we have additional guest parking back here. And then every garage has a drive in front where you could queue.
Just doesn't really show up on that map, does it?
Yeah, on the map, I'm just seeing, it looks like you pull down there, and if someone's coming the other way, there's not enough room for 2 cars.
No, everything, that street section would meet street standards for a 2-way drive aisle. And then as you pull into every townhome would have a driveway where you could,
They would have their own driveway?
correct.
So this isn't, yeah, this just doesn't look right, but that was one of my things, and also with what Tom was saying about, you got 26 units, and that's where people are actually gonna be living full-time. So that means at least 26 cars coming out of that one street at the same time.
If we're looking at just Bayfield Parkway, it'd be more the right turns out of Bayfield Parkway, which would be the, people coming home would be the main driver. And this movement, the right turn movement, has a lot larger allowance for warrants. But if it was a left turn going in, it would be a little bit different, but, most of the traffic, even if, and I forget what our splits are 50/50, but a lot of the traffic's going between this way turning right is the main driver.
And that's the only way into the condo house complex?
There's, they can go this route. I doubt that the distribution's gonna be much this way. I think most people would do this, but there is a secondary access through here. This will not be, there'll be vehicles at this point. Right. This is all connected.
And people will be able to park in their driveway. Because right now, it looks like there's no driveways, it just looks like you turn into a garage.
Well, they will be, yeah, they'll be parking in their garage.
And they'll be parking in front of the garage too?
Yes, they could park in front of the garage.
But do you have to be sideways, like parallel parked?
Yes, our driveways are not,
They're short,
no, that's true.
yeah. See, the one question I'm having is, okay, the guy that lives down there right in the middle of that, and he has, Sunday, he had a Super Bowl party, and he invited 10 friends over with 5 different cars. Where are they gonna park?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you understand what I'm saying? And meanwhile, the guy that lives 2 houses the other way, his daughter has a birthday, so they got 5 cars coming in, so there's 10 extra cars on that Sunday. Where are they gonna be?
Yeah, my name is Kirby Ross, and I'm representing Ironton Holding. I don't think any development can plan for
reality.
For reality sometimes.
So
What we've
what you're
done.
saying is you don't wanna plan for reality.
No, we have planned extra off-street parking and to help address that.
Where,
But,
that's my problem with it right now. is-
okay. And I understand that, but I think that, to come to any home and say that they're having a party there in any subdivision, you got 5 people who show up at the same time to park.
Right,
They're gonna walk across.
usually what happens is there's street parking, driveway parking. Here, there's no street parking and no driveway parking, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I
Just from
understand
my
that.
observation
Okay.
of what you showed me right here. And that's really causing a problem for me.
Okay. And the way this is planned is that each of those places will have, each building has 2 parking spaces in the garage, and then there's,
Right,
think
90% of the people
16, I
that
think
live in
there's-
Bayfield don't
Don't
even
use
use
their
the
garage.
garage because
there's
it's
16
full of
others. So I
boats
understand
and
your,
all
I
that
understand
other
your concern.
stuff.
We have not, and that's a legitimate
Yeah.
comment.
That's one of the things I'm seeing that's troubling to me.
And then, so are these gonna be public streets?
no, the right of way is here, so there's nothing, everything in here will be private street. This is an extension of Park Street here.
Right.
It'll be private headed up to the, from there.
So what is it, homeowners association?
That's the intent. There'll be, subdivided, the subdivision would be basically the residential area, and then they would have a homeowners association.
Well, I'm thinking that we're gonna need some kind of agreement that says we'll never go in there with a plow truck and plow any of those roads or maintain them. Because every subdivision around here that has a homeowners association is either broken up or they're talking breaking up now. And, I mean, it's just a problem. The people out in this area, they don't like homeowners associations and they're fighting them. So, I mean, plowing roads is gonna be a problem at some point if the homeowners association disbands. And I mean, I guess we can come to some kind of agreement with that. I'm sure we can come up with something with the staff, but I just wanna make sure that we are never responsible for taking a plow truck into there or maintaining the roads.
Assuming we get snow.
Yeah,
Right, assuming that ever happens.
next year's gonna be the biggest of all years.
Yeah.
You watch.
Okay, so we could add that as a condition, so somehow, you know, if the HOA fails and can't plow their own streets, then what's the alternatives?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't really, I mean, that's just, that would be a nightmare and a mess.
And then, I guess maybe this is for staff, but, so, with all those townhomes, don't we have to have a plat for those townhomes? Because those are, I mean,
Yeah, that'll be, future reviews. So, yeah.
so before those townhomes can get built, we have to have plats for either each unit or is the whole thing.
That's correct.
So it'll have to come through again.
Yeah. In that regard, yeah.
So that means if this project were to be approved, then it's gonna come back to us one way or the other.
Subdivision.
Well, and then I guess when you go, if you're gonna go that route, then so all the commercial buildings are gonna be owned by one entity? So if they get sold off, how's that gonna work?
There's separate lots for, there's a subdivision plan. I don't know that we have that.
Yeah, we have to do that.
So we're approving the subdivision plat? Or is that coming back through?
Subdivision plat will have to come back through this, preliminary plan.
So we'll see it again.
Yeah, so,
Okay, I just asked the questions, you know.
yeah, so essentially, this is what we were talking about. I think that was lot 2 residential, this is the existing house. This would be retail as a lot. Lot 5 is the other building with the retail there, and then it's everything else in there.
Is everything else CRV?
Yes.
Do you guys own the existing house? Or
I'm sorry, what?
you don't own the existing house?
What's the question?
The white?
Yeah, Ironton owns the whole 22 acres, one owner.
Oh, okay. So I was about to say, whoever they are, they just got a nice lake putting up their pond in their backyard. If you didn't own it.
You guys down there got any questions?
I don't have any other questions right now. I may think of something else.
Just to clarify, Ironton is fully aware that they have to come back through with the individual, on the individual lots and get those plans approved.
Right.
Okay.
But at this stage, when we don't even know, we're just trying to get.
This is a preliminary, you're saying, hey,
We know that when we start platting it,
Babies,
you'll actually put parking spaces.
baby steps. Baby steps. Hey, you guys down there on the left? You on this commission?
Yeah, right?
Just the pond, like,
Ask them about the pond.
I don't get it.
What?
I don't get it. Like, the pond, like, where's the water coming from? Is it stocked?
Oh, okay.
Mosquito control, just a variety of things. It's dry now.
It's, we actually have irrigation coming through.
Okay.
And so it's always got a constant flow. A lot of the flow comes out, this is a feed off of the Schroeder ditch. This pipe comes under and there's a splitter here, but the flow actually generally comes around this way. So this is all, we have irrigation flow coming through here. We're also gonna pick up with some of this irrigation flow through here. That's now being directed towards the pond too. So there's 2 sources of inflow. Our pond has 2, we have a weir structure right here to control the height of the storms, but it's got 2 12-inch pipes that come out. And that'll maintain that level with the irrigation. Once the 5, 10, 100 years come, we actually can go up to the 100-year. We can raise the pond. It's about 1.25 foot. We're able to actually handle the 100-year storm. So we're kind of doing two things. We're maintaining the pond with the irrigation flow, but then we're also controlling the 100-year flood as it comes through. But I guess to answer your first question, it's just constantly with the irrigation.
Okay.
So the pond's acting as a,
Detention pond.
yeah, a detention pond as well as just visual.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially it's, we have an obligation to release the backwater. So everything that comes through is gonna release at the same rate of irrigation. Everything above that, however many CFS is gonna raise the pond elevation in a storm event.
And so go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, isn't that then mixing your uses? So you're putting stormwater in with irrigation water and then discharging everything back to the river?
So this is kind of an older plan, but with the, talking to the bean ditch, this is the bean ditch here that comes down. To get our agreement in place, we actually have a pipe now that starts here and goes down and around. So we're basically bypassing, this won't be a mix. When the bean ditch folks get their water, it's not gonna be a mix of the pond. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so I guess to go back to that, there's going to be a pipe inlet here for the bean ditch. The bean ditch is going to pick up their water from this irrigation that's flown through here. So they're not going to mix with our pond water, I guess is the answer.
Right, but I mean, are you guys gonna irrigate out of that pond? Like for the site, sprinklers, anything like that, for your landscape?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but we will irrigate just landscaping out of that.
Well, but that's mixing your uses, because you're detaining water, that's storm water, right? And then irrigating out of that pond. So if you're irrigating while it's raining, which happens, I mean, is that making sense?
Yeah, is the pump house, I guess.
Kirby Ross again. When Ironton looked at this with the engineering, the annexation agreement, Ironton retained the right to be able to use the PRID water shares and the Schroeder shares to be able to continue irrigating, and that then they would obviously have to pay for the tap fees, and maybe based upon what's discussed in terms of the water shares being paid in lieu of the water. That discussion hasn't happened yet on how that's gonna work. But this detention area has the ability to retain a lot more water than is necessary during those heavy storm areas, and so it's kind of solving some of the town's problems that they were concerned about. The fact that we've designed it, it's been designed so that we can control the outflow of that. Yeah, we will be, we did retain the right to be able to use some of that water for irrigation purposes.
Right, that's kind of my concern, because if somebody in the townhomes has their, meth lab blow up or something, and it contaminates the pond, and then you guys are spreading it out amongst all your landscape.
Okay.
You have the ability to contaminate your water feature, basically, by using it as a retention pond.
Okay. I guess anything can happen. The thing that sometimes just needs to be reminded is that we are the last ones to the river, and so we're being monitored pretty closely in how we handle that.
Right.
And
I just was curious. Nobody else has a retention pond in the town of Bayfield that they use as a water feature as well. So.
And most likely the irrigation is going to come out of the existing well that we get to keep.
Mm-hmm.
But we did retain right in the annexation agreement to be able to irrigate with the
yeah,
PID shares.
no.
And so how we do that hasn't been determined yet.
Right.
So that could be part of the conditions, that gets sorted out. Okay, are you guys taking notes? I hope.
They're recording everything you say.
Oh, shucks. Okay, so that,
Who is it?
that kind of, yeah, that kind of addresses the pond issue. I too have some concerns over the number of condo
Townhouse.
townhouses, whatever, making sure we have sufficient parking. This has been a big problem with a number of projects that have come before us recently. One we actually tossed back 3 times, so that they could readjust their parking requirements, because it becomes a big to-do. We had an issue with Dove Ranch, where, you know, the streets are so narrow that if you park on either side, you get 2 cars going both ways, but it's kind of tight. And for what they wanted to use the streets for, it was gonna be a tough issue. So that's a concern, and, you know, I don't know how you'd resolve that, but that is we just raise concerns. We don't solve your problems for you. As far as, access, it looks like, based from what I could see and from your presentation, that, yeah, this one will be just for the condos, or the townhomes. Then you've got 2 accesses, which I thought it was gonna be a 1 in and 1 out kind of thing, where you go around and you check in with your RV, and you either go that way to go park, or if you're leaving, you check out and you go to the other one. But theoretically, you could come in both ways,
Theoretically, yes.
as long as there's not another RV in your way?
Yeah, we are gonna we're gonna have signage to direct. We want this to be the main out, so there will be certain signage to try to direct people this way, rather than trying to go back out. That's not the best route for people to go in and out.
And the entrance over there, is that entrance A at the top kind of thing? That was A, isn't it?
This is one.
1, sorry. 1 is kind of where the existing RV, for lack of a better term, park is, correct?
No, access 1 is right where the existing driveways to the Q6 residence. So that's where the old Pine Street was platted right here. So it's the exact same location as where the driveway is currently. I think the RV that's there now is kind of in this area. That's actually that's the curb cut for the existing RVs there.
So does that impact the house that's gonna be remaining there?
Right now,
they're gonna-
so what we have is basically an easement that runs through our property to connect. So that is true, that the Q6 will be using our access 1 to turn it in.
Well, have somebody maintain it maybe then, huh? Look at the plus side.
Don't they have to have their own driveway per code?
You talking about the residents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't made it that far to the code yet.
I think, Tom, that per code, it's commercials are 2 entrances and residential is 1. So I don't necessarily know if they can have a shared driveway. A lot of townhomes do that. There's shared driveways up in Cinnamon Heights and things like that as well. So I
Well,
don't think
I
that's
mean,
necessarily a requirement per the code.
The letter we got, or email from the current owner over there doesn't seem real happy with having to share a driveway with him.
We're right here.
We'll get to you. Well, we have had in the county, we've had oil field roads that go to the oil things that have been used as private driveways as well, with an agreement between the oil company and the residents. So from a county standpoint, that's happened.
Right.
Shared driveway, so to speak.
County's a little different.
I know, I'm just saying.
I'm not arguing with you.
Okay. Okay, so we got something there we need to sort out, I guess. We'll get to you guys.
Let me just respond to that question.
Sure.
About that access. It is true that access is used obviously for the Cusick home. When Ironton bought this, they met with the town, and they were told that if they developed that at some point that would have to be, all those entrances off of Bayfield Parkway were going away. And there was agreement signed between between everybody that at some point in time, this access would have to be relocated to accommodate that. So it's not something that's happening that wasn't anticipated and wasn't discussed. And there is agreements in place that show that the right to relocate that access for that home is in place.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. Any other questions for the applicant at this point? We'll probably call you back, so be prepared for that. Anything else? Guys down there? My lefties? Okay. Anybody else in the public wish to address this? You guys, it's your turn.
I don't have much to say, so I have to come up here.
Yes, you do. But he has to give you, did he put the, oh, he put the microphone back.
I'm
Good.
Andrea Barnum. So we grew up in this home, the Cusick home. My grandpa owned all this property, even past here, I think past the river this way. So it's been a big part, like Paul said, he's been around for a long time too. Anyways, this plan looks a lot better than what's there right now. Our parents both passed away, so none of us currently live in the house. But we are worried about the driveway because I think in the early 2000s, CDOT came in and our driveway was originally right there at the corner and but CDOT White said we couldn't do that anymore because they changed the road, right? So they put in this road, I believe. Kirby does maybe know a little more about that. And they did they call it a city street, Kirby? Pine Street, is that technically the city's? It's been our private drive for 20 years.
It was in the county.
In the county? Oh, at that time, okay.
So it's not a town street.
Well, we annexed it.
Did we?
We annexed it, yeah.
Oh.
They did, or years ago, but, so is that considered a city street?
Good question.
Okay. Anyway, so we're just concerned about that. We're concerned about maybe some privacy. It would be nice to have, like, when CDOT came in, they did build up some things. We had like a stone fence would be nice. Anyways, the congestion right there, I've lived in a fifth wheel traveling around for the last 5 years. And so we've seen a lot of RV parks, and I mean, it does get backed up and congested, and they're big rigs that come through. So I mean, it seems like it could get congested. Anyways, I don't have much else to say besides the concern of the driveway
So you don't have any objections, if I understand you correctly, with sharing the driveway?
I mean, ideally, we wouldn't like to share a driveway. Ideally, it would go in where the current trailer park is. On a side note, that trailer park used to be an actual trailer park, but when CDOT said they're going to move everything, my grandma said, oh, great, all the trailers have to move out. And then it kind of turned into what it is now, which isn't nice, but it was nice before. So ideally, it would go farther down, but anyways, my sister has more to say now.
Okay, come on, sis.
She's got a book.
So are we not limited to 3 minutes?
I'll give you 5. How's that?
Why? I shouldn't have brought it up. Okay, a lot of the things I have planned have already kind of been addressed and rehearsed. But yes, my grandpa bought that property in 1954. That pond was dug out by him, D.D. Wells, and it was named after his youngest daughter, Roseanne Wells, which was my mom. So that was called Lake Roseanne. I don't believe it was ever agriculture. It was more to feed my grandpa's fishing fetish. So he would stock that with large fish and then put them on his wall, on Wells Liquor. So right now, one of our biggest issues is that during the process of Ironton buying the property, there was Schroeder ditch rights were somehow taken from us, and the current deed is currently under dispute. Taking this water would take away our right to water our lawn and our trees. So that is, and it also devalues our property. Also, with Pine Street, Andrea talked about how we were given that Pine Street as a driveway. I guess we're confused because we were told that that would be a city street. So when you talk about maintaining it, we were expecting the city to maintain that road. So there was a time that my parents and family considered developing this property, but we were told that we would need a turn lane. And so this is problematic for us because this intersection gets pretty backed up. And in this proposal, it says that they're asking for a variance because it doesn't meet the guidelines for the Bayfield City Code. So it's 32 feet short, and there's some other statute that it is short of as well. And as you see, it curves. So we were told this was a public street, but in the submittal of the preliminary, it says that it is all internal roads are private. So my question is it city or is it private? I don't want to have to access somebody's private road to get to my house.
Fair enough.
Along with this corner, it's short and there's no turn lane. For some reason, we're not required a turn lane. So I think that this is going to be very backed up, especially with big rigs coming through. I mean, we were told we needed to have a turn lane, and this was more than 20, 25 years ago. And now in Bayfield, where it's grown a lot, it seems like Bayfield, it's packed full of people. I don't know why they wouldn't need a turn lane. So that intersection is very concerning with me. So I actually help manage an RV park. One of the issues we have is there's always, without exception, a lot of drug addicts that come into this area and try to take up long-term housing. So we're getting an increase of that kind of activity along with policemen coming to the park. And so I'm worried about how much of that is going to affect our renters, or if one of my siblings came to live in that house. Sorry. I'm just worried about, so what if they go ahead with this plan for this intersection and it proves to be unsafe? What ramifications are in place for that? Like we talked about before, this used to be a very spacious place. It was very peaceful. We get lots of deer on our property. And I'm just worried that all of this will become so busy that it kind of gets rid of the nature of the property. Let me look at my notes. Also, what happens if the variance for the shorter between the two intersections isn't granted? What does Ironton have in place for that? Okay, I think I'm done. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think we've taken notes. Well, they record it anyway, so then they go off the recording, so.
Thank you. Was I past 5 minutes?
You
stopped. You forgot to start the timer.
But you didn't know that. Anybody else? Yes.
Paul Black, talking for the Schroeder on this aspect. I do have to say, this development, they have reached out tremendously well when it comes down to water. So they did ask for the bean ditch. I got them to talk to all the folks. That's an unincorporated ditch, so they had to talk to almost every single shareholder along that ditch, and I can tell you that is a huge challenge. As far as the Schroeder ditch, they are the actual one of the last users off of the bean ditch, which is a lateral from the Schroeder ditch. They were right on with those channels of water, and so we are drafting an agreement in process right now. We just got a draft this morning that I was reviewing, and it's kind of a new piece. So with the state and everything, the Schroeder ditch actually is responsible for tailwaters returns to the river. So in this agreement, we didn't really know what to call it. We're calling it a maintenance agreement, and it's specifically stating those return routes of our Schroeder, because there's lands above that are irrigated still, and those return flows flow all the way through all of these properties, similar to the stormwater issues that we have. So we are locking down that aspect, that water will continue to flow. It'll be going down through their pond. It'll be then being discharged into the Little Pine, which is, after that, there's actually no more ditches of impact. They are taking care of the impact of the water, stormwater for the bean ditch. Those are some pretty big monumental tasks. So very pleased that they did reach out. Their engineer was, he was pushing me every week to get back with them. So I do appreciate that aspect of them looking at those aspects, working with us on that, and allowing us to be able to lock in kind of a route of our water to get back. They did mention that pond is a very large pond with capacity with stormwater. It's something the town should think of with the other issues you guys have. And I think for the irrigation, kind of with what Bucky had said, you know, if they put a structure in upstream or something with a meter on it, you know, that meets our requirements of metering their water. It's not necessarily getting mixed in. It sounded like Kirby, they're gonna look into that of how they're gonna get their water, you know. So I think there's some aspects they can put in place to kind of cover some of those issues there. But yes, they have reached out and they've asked anything that we had issues with, and everything we threw at them, they've been very good to work with. I can say better than most other developments. Usually I'm worried my house is gonna be burned down by one of those guys. So I appreciate them working with us and understanding that. I will be sad to see the orchard go.
Go away, stay there. Was yours the Schroeder ditch issue?
And you spoke already.
Right, but I guess this is kind of a free-for-all when I run meetings, so.
Yeah.
Buck up, you know, Bucky.
Yeah.
Are you aware that they lost their rights? And how did that happen? I mean, water rights are a tough one, especially for residential.
Yes, so they did reach out to me. I've talked to both entities here. So water rights are a private so the Schroeder ditch is incorporated and you have share certificates.
Right.
You do have, that's like private property, so that can be sold, conveyed,
Right.
moved around. It does have to go through a process of the Schroeder ditch board to approve a transition. That might have happened before I was on that board. So I don't know to that, but, so yes, so a share can be sold or moved. It's gotta stay in the same diversion point off the river, so it's
Right.
gotta stay within the Schroeder ditch. And so I have been in negotiations with them and talking, and hopefully we can find a solution to that.
So they didn't have, I'm asking this as a generic question for you three, okay? So they didn't have a share in the irrigation water. They were just able to use it? Is that the
No,
gist?
no, they did. They had rights. So
Okay.
so this was all one large property, as was noted.
Right.
So that's something we do see quite often, is when properties change or get subdivided up, or, you know, siblings
The rights
tend
don't
to
get
get
shared.
split. Usually those water rights sometimes are forgotten, aren't split equally. Sometimes they are. Sometimes negotiations, I don't know a lot of that history, they can speak on that more. But, you know, essentially, if you have a share and a share certificate and somebody says, hey, do you want to sell that? Do you want to convey it to me? It's between those two
Right.
folks. That transaction, the share certificate has to be renamed in a new share certificate, so that transaction goes up to the share, or to the board of the ditch company. So we would see that transaction, and that's how we keep our record keeping of our ditch shares and our decreed amount of water from expanding. You know, we don't just issue share certificates, it's gotta come from a past one.
Right. So, did I understand you correctly that you're talking to them about this issue?
Yes, they've reached out to us,
And you
is,
should be able to look back at all the records and see what happened.
yes, and so that's kind of a private entity on between the.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
I think from this commissioner's standpoint, it's an issue. I think it's gonna be addressed. We'll take that all into consideration as we make I make my final
Yeah.
decision. I don't know what everybody else does, but, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think about it at all.
You don't think about it at all? Okay, that's fair.
we're, as far as water, most of the time, there's no other available water for purchase.
Right.
It's very
Right.
odd to see any water. I mean, water's kind of like gold. So I'm trying to come up with some options to get some water back to this
Can you
parcel.
buy part shares?
So part of our bylaws, you can't break the water all the way down to really small, tiny little portions. Yes, it's a challenge. Hopefully, we can find a resolution to
Anybody
this.
can fix it, Paul, you can fix it, so,
We'll try.
okay. All right, anybody else in the public want to address this issue? Yeah, hang on a second, let me just make sure I don't have any more public.
You're not public, man.
Yeah, you're not public, you're private. Okay, private, come on up.
A few years after Ironton purchased this property, this issue came up. And I was asked by Ironton to research that. And I came back in and looked at we were comfortable that we got it right initially, but we came back and researched it. And I don't have the exact date, but I think in 2005, Cusic's annexed that property into the town. And in that annexation agreement, there was nothing referenced about any Schroeder ditch shares in that annexation agreement. And then as it moved forward and it was purchased, I know that, Mike Cusick reached out to the Schroeder ditch and asked several questions and was fully aware that he was selling the shares that are in question. So to be clear, that whole 23 acres, including the Cusic's, has .67 shares of the Schroeder ditch. And so that's the whole 22 acres. In 2007, Noble Wells, I believe at that time, went ahead and divided those shares to the siblings. Was it 2003? Yeah, after the annexation. And divided, and .33 of the 67, .335 was given, it was put in the name of the two sisters, Roseanne and Jean, and the other .335 is put in the name of Ray Wells. And so when Ironton purchased, they purchased both of those shares, and a new certificate was issued in the name of Ironton Holding. And so, I understand the concern. There was never, it was something that we thought we had 100% clear on when we sold. The research shows that again, when it was annexed, that property never had any shares in the annexation agreement, and so we all move forward with that premise and understand, and it's not that we're not still talking about that, because we are, but I just wanted to set the record from where from Ironton's position on that.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. Need some historical references, I guess, huh? Okay, yes?
And then I just wanted to make a comment on the traffic again. We are providing multiple queuing areas and areas for RVs to come in and stage. And then again, regarding traffic, our team has done multiple studies as requested. And again, we're following best practices. We're looking at all the numbers. Part of this has to do with the RV use itself. And this is a seasonal use. So all of that, when you look at the requirements of CDOT and how you calculate traffic, it does not trigger a turn lane. And I think our team has demonstrated that. And I just wanted to reiterate that we have done our due diligence. This is a seasonal use. RVs have different kind of, arrival times and departure times. All of that factors in. And I think part of the issue with the distance relates to that existing driveway. So I think we were kind of trying to respect existing entries and exits out of this site. And we felt like that made the most sense to, again, coordinate with the neighbor, utilize that existing entry. It's been there historically, so it made sense. But that was a response to the distance issue.
In traffic studies, we've had several projects come before us where we had traffic studies, and the traffic studies all met the Ts and crosses.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like a lack of common sense and actually what happens to these streets. And so I think, at least going forward, I think we're gonna be a little more, I believe, perhaps, I've seen a lot of nodding heads and stuff, that we're gonna be a little more critical on some of that stuff, not that the traffic study isn't important,
Right.
but then there's the reality of what's on the ground,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah,
So, go ahead.
my thing with traffic studies, the way they're done in Colorado, is you look at the charts and you go, and you look at the numbers and you crunch the math of the numbers. They don't actually look at the street. And, and actually pay some guy to sit out there and count how many cars actually drive by that street. Put the little marker out there that counts, the counter marker. Go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say, we did count this
You did?
street, so we have all the background, so we do have the actual.
So you put the actual marker out there and counted how many cars?
We have cameras set up.
You didn't do this like at midnight one night, what, did you?
No, we've got this set up to, we did it not during holidays, and, we followed all the protocols
What
to
time of
actually
year
count
did
the
you do the
traffic.
study?
What's that?
What time of year did you do the study?
We had, I'd have to go back, this was years ago that we did the actual counts, this was 2023, I think. I believe we did the counts in, I'd have to go back and look, I can't remember when we did it. Then we seasonally adjusted it to July, I believe, whatever. I was thinking it was in the winter, but that might have been.
Because there's significantly more traffic in Bayfield in July than there is in November, December.
And I feel like our seasonal adjustment was like 1.4 or something like that. It was a pretty large jump that we applied.
So, not to counter experts in setting this stuff up, but when I drove by this, and I read the stuff, and then I drove by a couple of times, and I looked, and I went, well, that makes sense, if they take where that, there's not gonna be, I read, no turn lane, okay, or no cutout, right? Well, if they use that section there where all that, there's just big patch of gravel, if they use that where people pull in and then they go in, you could double stack a couple of them, and not have it back up onto the Bayfield Parkway. I'm just saying, that's what I looked at them.
Yeah.
And I think there's room in here that we've built in additional circulation. So let's say there is a peak event, they can make accommodations for that week or whatever.
Can you take
where
a hunk of your property adjacent to Bayfield Parkway, and as opposed to CDOT doing it, can they make a private turn lane?
Well, I think that's essentially what we've built in. So there's a whole other queuing lane right when you enter from the north.
But that's already on your property.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying we're stacking. We have the
It's
ability
double
to stack.
stack.
Oh, it's double stacked in there?
A handful all along here. We could during peak events, or if there is,
Right. Move on, move it
later
up
on,
a little
certain
bit.
things that happen, you could still queue in here.
Okay.
So you have ample room and the ability to sort of pivot and adjust as.
Because we all know that watching these big RVs, especially the big trailer ones, pulling off and turning into a parking lot is like watching a dinosaur move.
And kind of going back to the variance, I wanted to discuss that a little bit, and that plays into this. The reason that the variance is here is because we're trying to maximize the internal stacking, and so that's what's pushing us. But it's this distance here that we're lacking the 32 feet per Bayfield code. It's actually 16 foot that we're lacking if you just go by AASHTO. It's a little bit larger for Bayfield. But we're maximizing the internal stacking. So the idea is don't let them sit on Bayfield Park, we get them off. And that's why this is as far as we can get
And that 32 feet is from that point to where,
Buck Highway.
Buck Highway is?
Yeah, the distance here is short, so it's based off of stopping site distance, and we made it for 30 miles an hour. We actually, we're, if Bayville Parkway was 30 miles an hour, we wouldn't have to have variance. But since it's 35, we come up 32 feet short on this distance. And that's based on the stacking in here.
Well,
And that turn-in is their driveway.
This section is a shared portion that they need to get to the driveway.
So you want to stack up their driveway.
No, we're stacking, this is, I forget how, couple hundred feet or so that we can stack at least 3 of the large, or probably 4 or 5 other RVs in here. And then there's also the through lane, so they're not blocking the actual through traffic.
It's all well and good until I'm doing 45 on Bayfield Parkway. Those are your numbers.
Which most people are.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right.
We have,
Yes,
I just want to address Mayor question in regards to access lots. So the only section that really addresses that in the land use code is 611, public access to all lots. And it reads, all lots must have adequate access to a public street unless a development plan providing private roadway access is approved by the town. An access permit is issued by the town is required for new non-residential or multifamily construction on all lots. Driveways for residential use other than multifamily shall be reviewed and approved as part of building permit review. So, yes, they need access, but it doesn't have to be private, their own access. They can
Okay.
share.
okay. Yes, ma'am, if you want to come up and say something, you may come up and say your name, and then you can talk.
I just
You
wanted
can't
to
talk yet.
add
No,
if-
you gotta say your name first.
Oh, I'm Grace Sosselman.
Hi, Grace.
Hi,
Go ahead.
thank you. I just wanted to say that the property that I own, which is the pasture directly across from this development or proposed
With the
development.
white fence?
Pardon me?
With the white fence, white picket fence?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I wanted just to remind you, if you didn't know already, any kind of, thing that you have to do to the parkway to get traffic in and out, et cetera, before you consider widening any of that road, that area along my fence is all a wetland.
Right, right.
Okay, just wanted you to be aware of that, is all.
Because you have cattails in there.
It does, and they're very lovely.
And willows?
it's thick.
Yeah? Okay.
I know, there's a survey monument in the middle of that.
Anybody else? Okay.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, no, come on. It's only 8:30. I figured we were gonna be here till midnight.
Perfect. I just wonder, is it a long-term or is it only short-term? And I guess they could only answer this. I worry that a long-term would end up trashy.
What are we talking about? Long-term what?
Stay for the RVs. Like, is it a 30-day stay or is that something that they
That's a
have
good
to
question.
ask about?
That's a good question.
So
Very
that's-
legitimate question. Is it gonna be a housing development of RVs?
Is it gonna be cheap? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I saw 90 days in there. Is that right? Did I see 90 days?
Say something.
I saw 90 days somewhere.
Well, they're deciding now.
Okay.
Yes, correct, 90 days.
Okay.
So 90-day max.
And they have to go out for how long and come back?
You gotta drive down to the gas station.
Big trip around the
It's going to be seasonal. And so, yeah, they'll have to leave, I don't know that Ironton's got into the weeds of that, but it's not going to be a year-round. We're not going to allow people to get there and then end up just accumulating stuff. It's, we're trying to Ironton's trying to maintain a resort feel in there.
What kind of?
I'm not supposed to let him talk like that, am I?
Yeah, you're not.
Seems
No,
like a
come on,
private
Jim, get a hold of this thing.
Okay, you guys sort that out after, okay? But I have a question for staff. There was a comment made about RV parks and some of them deteriorated into drug havens, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have one across 160, it's now called Outdoorsy, and it was something else for years. Do we know whether we have any police reports or crime statistics for that particular, whether it was outdoorsy or the one before? And if we don't, are we able to get that?
We probably have to work through the
Police.
sheriff's department in order to get that information.
Because it wasn't
Because we just
Bayfield
asked.
PD. I know a
I'll
couple of
know.
sheriff's guys.
He knows.
Can I comment to that?
You may, and then we're still gonna ask for proof.
So, yes, that property outdoorsy was, in the county, along with mine as well. But I can assure you, there was times that 911 was called, and I think just because this is a good community, the marshals were always first on scene. I believe they do have a MOU now of some sort of how they go cross jurisdiction.
Right.
So yes, there has been plenty of calls, owning a wedding venue, sometimes calls come up as well. So, yes, that was always the fastest response was the town marshals. So that is kind of something to take into account is now that that is in jurisdiction, for your marshal service here in the town.
And the point of my question was more, is it a, what do they call it when it's a bad thing?
Bad thing.
A bad thing, as opposed to just, it happens. I mean, stuff happens everywhere. You know, doesn't it?
Attractive nuisance? Is that
Yes,
what you're looking for?
nuisance, thank you, that was the word I was looking for. Whether it's the possibility of a nuisance, or these things happen and the percentage is small or large, or,
I mean, it's a case of, like you said, these things happen.
yep.
And how the property is maintained, how it's, you know, the management of the area. You know, if you just let it, here you go, park an RV, it's probably gonna get a little dodgy.
I guess you could address that in the terms and conditions of you want to rent a spot. One of them is, if police are need to be called here, you're gone. Out you go. I don't know whether you could do that or not, but I mean, that would be one,
I mean, that would be a private thing that they would have to do.
right.
you know,
I just explore things, you know.
He's just chatting.
I'm just chatting.
He's got 3 hours to kill.
That's right. I plan to be here till midnight. Okay, anybody else in the audience? No. Anybody else with the applicant? No. Anybody else with the commission? Oh, that's scary. All right, well, you know what happens next.
Yes,
Do it.
someone needs to make a decision.
Do it.
What am I doing? Oh. Why do I have to, can't you do this?
Can I just make?
Yeah.
Clarify, just kind of give you guys a reminder, of course, you got your alternative actions, and this is a preliminary plan with use by review. You can set conditions and approve, or, you know, you can table it, have it come back with some of the changes that you guys have made. I'm just gonna go back to my experience with Clover Meadows, and kind of a similar process here.
Yeah.
So,
I motion that we move to table the preliminary plan and use by review for RV park, campground, duplex, residential, commercial retail uses in the transitional land use zone. Request for Bayfield Lakeside RV park until the planning commission meeting on
March 10th?
March 10th, with the following specific directions to staff and the applicants.
what kind of direction do we have?
So if I could, can I help you
I'm
here?
gonna hand off to him.
So we asked lots of questions here that you guys were supposed to be taking notes on, and you'll recap them from the audio. Some of those, and I didn't write all of them down, but there were parking was a question, access is a question.
Access is a
Do we
question.
have alternatives for access? What about the parking for the apartment, or the condo area? The other question that I'd like to have a little more explanation on is that access there off of, is it Pine?
Yeah.
Yeah, off of Pine, because when I drove by Pine, didn't even realize it was Pine.
Right.
And so there's gotta be some major work going over there. And if, the question then comes is, how far in is the city portion versus the private portion? And is the city prepared to do what they need to do, or the town, I guess, not the city, but the town, prepared to do what they need to do to bring that intersection portion up to speed, so to speak, not to use the word speed, but so that then the private section will function. Because like I say, I drove by it and went, I know it's here, but where the hell was it? So that was another question. What were the other ones?
Irrigation.
Irrigation issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think we answered that one.
Okay, but when we come back, we can clarify it better.
True.
Okay? What else?
So that's the motion.
Access.
And you guys can review some of our questions off the tape as well.
So yeah, just off that, I got primarily the parking, kind of addressed that around the duplex condo area, probably.
Access.
Addition of more off-street parking.
The shared driveway thing.
Yeah, the whole shared driveway issue needs to be resolved. Is that actually, when CDOT came in and said, no, you can't have a driveway here, and they put it there, is that actually part of,
And is it
owned
part
by
of
the
the town?
town?
Right,
Or is
right,
it owned by these people, and who's gonna maintain that? That's a big question. for
And I'm
me.
sure if the RV park allowed the resident of that building to park in the RV park and had a shuttle taking them to and from the house, probably be okay with them. Okay, I just throw them out there, okay?
So I made that motion, any second?
Wait, I don't know. Seemed like there was one more thing.
Or there was.
Now you're gonna make me scroll again. 88, page 88.
Some agreement between them and the town to where we would not be.
Oh, yeah, liable on that.
Any plowing, any street
Right,
maintenance,
right,
any
right,
of those
right,
things.
Areas to disband.
And I think that gives us a good platform then to readdress this issue. Not that we want to make you work more, but you knew you were coming and things were going to happen. And hopefully, we've done this to where we've made sense of some of the questions as opposed to just being really crazy. We could get crazy, but we aren't. So that, again, our job as commissioners, and I'll repeat this, I do this often, is to look at a project. Does it meet the code? One, staff does most of that work for us. What does it do to the surrounding neighborhoods? And what does it do to the town in general? And so those are sort of hard to identify, and that's sort of back where we go to some of these questions. You can meet all the code, but if it severely impacts not just one neighbor, but a lot, that's something we need to take into consideration and look at, what are the other alternatives, what's some recommendations and stuff. So we're not picking on you per se, but we are. So that's sort of where this sort of meeting has happened. Am I correct, commissioners?
You're doing great.
Am I doing okay?
Can I second the motion now?
Do it.
Second?
Okay, call the roll.
Commissioner Lyon,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Shea Heidinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Ransford,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Co-Chair Tenza,
If I said no, would that be rude? No, I'll say yes.
and is Mayor Ah allowed to vote on this? Or?
Yes.
Okay, Mayor Ah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right, well, that takes care of that.
Real quick, just to reiterate that it's being tabled to the March 10th.
So I'm gonna request a nodded head, yes or no, from the applicant if they think they can get this stuff done by March 10th, or we could go to April. So March 10th is like this, yes or no, and then we push it to April.
When can we get the comments?
I will get those to you as soon as possible, so hopefully by the end of this week.
How about we do April? Think, you guys okay with, I know that's delaying things and we're not getting stuff done and we're getting closer to construction season. That way you know you've got time. It's up to you.
Ironton's team is hot on the project, so if we can do March, we'd rather do March.
Let's go for March. Can we help make that happen?
Yeah,
Okay, so March 10th it is.
That'll allow us to go ahead and get it going without having to repost.
You done
Okay.
talking?
Fair enough.
Oh, that was your phone?
Anybody in the audience wish to tell me I'm an idiot today, or are we gonna just go on?
Have to be in the audience?
Oh, that's true. All right, let's see. The only thing I got left here is I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Okay, done.
run an entertaining game.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's yours.
Oh, yeah, now you give it back to me. You stole it the whole freaking
I think
meeting.
we're shuffling the name plates next time. I don't like this you and us thing.
Right.
New
guy.
Oh,
You guys are on the left.
F and G, stay down
Oh,
there.
no, you guys are the new guys. Yeah.
Newbies, stay down there.
You know what I've discovered, or at least this is my philosophy, whether it's right or not, I don't know.
We don't want our newness to wear off on their oldness, you know?
You can keep it light,
They're just having a lot
provided
more
you
fun
actually
down
do.
there.
Okay, it doesn't have to be a heavy thing.
The idea is
And that's my feeling anyway.
No, it's good.
But at the same time, it's gotta move along.
They gotta figure out what
Yeah.
They got a lot of things.
I'll send you what I
And I
got.
didn't,
What I got is
I didn't want to say this, but that whole area was subdivided a long time ago. It's been there for a really long time. I looked it up, and I said, that land exists.
Well, I hate to tell you, but it probably hasn't graded or.
Been back and forth on that.
No, probably not, but there was not. there was
But like I said, I did acquire some more shares. in
That was
it.
another one.
That was all part of
At
their
this moment, I can't sell any of it because I'm still kind of working through what we're doing on our place. But
There's another
I will
street that
definitely
goes down
lease
there.
that
Doesn't have a name on it.
get you guys
It's
one
down there, and then you're in.
find out.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice thing down in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not,
I don't
it
wanna
doesn't show
interrupt.
it's a private drive